We're gonna check. Okay. Oh, no.
Can we take the, sorry, just remove that QR code that's in front of the camera there?
Oh, yes.
I'll just go there.
All right. I will welcome everybody to our meeting, God Making Board meeting in Collingwood on the 1st of July. Crikey. Chris, before we go any further, I'll pass over to you and Robert for our Karakia.
Sure. Karakia tātou, kia uru mai a hau ora, a hau kaha, a hau maia, ki runga ki raro, ki roto, ki waho, riri hau, ai marire. May we be energised with good health, with strength of conviction, with confidence, from above, from below, from within, from those in close proximity. Abundant energy, let peace reign. Abundant energy, let peace reign.
That's peace. I'm learning you. It's good. Thank you, Robert and Chris. No apologies today. We will appear to be here. Excellent. Well, we will move into public forum. So we've got 30 minutes set aside with 6 speakers allocated 5 minutes each. Speakers must be respectful, avoid repetition and criticism of elected members and staff, and avoid speaking on matters subject to legal proceedings. And today I believe we have Bruce come to talk to us. Welcome, Bruce.
Well, you have to talk for half an hour.
No, you've got 5 minutes.
Well, almost 4 years ago, I attended the community board meeting, which was the last one I think you had in Warfield.
Oh, yes.
And
Remember that.
proposed attempting to get the Salisbury Swingbridge rebuilt. Councillor Hill kindly agreed to be part of our small little group of community board member in our little task force. The other members were Kate Hill and Carolyn McKenna, both of whom send their apologies. Kate was actually here about until an hour ago when she was worried about the rising water in the river, so she decided to discretion would be the better part of ballot and that she would go home. And Carolyn rang just before I left home to say that she was also worried about the rising river, so she wouldn't be here, but they are apologies. So that little group, we met and we decided that given the levels of TDC debt, it was foolish to attempt to impose further debt burden to rebuild the Salisbury Swingbridge, and we thought we would seek central government funding, grant aid. With that in mind, we wanted to gauge the level of local support, so we contacted all the groups and organisations we could think of and that we knew of in Golden Bay, and asked them to sign up in terms of their support for this project going ahead. And I'd certainly like to thank all of those groups and associations, as well as the hundreds of people that signed the petitions that we placed at Langford store.
That was about 13 pages.
Wow.
Then COVID hit us. And if we thought debt was bad before, the debt in both places, both central government and TDC, skyrocketed. We were in touch with our then MP, David O'Connor, who was kindly responsible for getting the bridge refurbished and reopened way back. And we were just thinking, we'll pass this around. A joyous occasion back 20 years ago with Damien O'Connor opening the refurbished bridge, which was a lovely event. It was chucking it down with rain, and Lorna Langford was there without gumboots. She wrapped 14 bags around her feet. It was a joyous occasion. So enormous thanks to David O'Connor. And then, of course, we got in touch with our newly elected MP, Maureen Pugh, who devoted an entire morning to looking at the site and listening to what we had to say. We stopped at Langford store afterwards and had a bit of a discussion. And whilst all sorts of pointers and possible directions were put forward by Maureen, there were no promises. the long-term plan, with the TDC, when that was kicked off, I did make a submission saying that in the event that I was able to get hold of the $310,000 which would be necessary in order to rebuild the bridge, at that point, I'll say that from the very start, I've been in touch with New Zealand's leading manufacturer of these bridges, who do the majority of these bridges for dock around the place. And the cost would have been 192,000 when we embarked upon this attempt. It would now be 310,000. So it gives you an idea of how much things have gone up. But the position I put into the TDC saying, if this pot of gold fell into our laps, would you be prepared to take it on? The answer is no. It was rejected in terms of, because it would require the readoption by the TDC as a TDC asset.
Yeah.
It was theirs, it should be theirs. It was presumably insured, but nothing happened. But frankly, in consideration of the TDC's response, saying that even if we did find that amount of money, they wouldn't be prepared to re-accept and re-adopt the item, we consider that the matter should be closed. With the parlous state of the economy, I think that this sort of nice to have traction is probably not worth progressing at this time. I've been here now 21 years, living in the west of the Bay, and I've witnessed the demise of several significant attractions and facilities, all of which have been the result of the authorities deciding that they no longer wish to support them. I would mention that we've lost the Fairwell Spit Cafe, we've lost the Collings raft race and the associated market, we've lost the Fairwell horse tracks, Taylor Caves, the Wild Food Festival, the Joan Whiting Nursing Home, and of course the Salisbury Swingbridge. Now the Swingbridge opened in 1887. It was damaged and rebuilt on numerous occasions until it finally got swept away in 2010. I just feel very sad that a listed heritage site, which has been with us for 123 years, was allowed to die on our watch. So I apologise enormously for not being able to get the project completed, but that's the end of it as far as this group is concerned. I thank all those who gave us support and the team members who have helped.
Thank you, Bruce. We're hugely appreciative of all the time and effort and energy you've put into this project, and I'm seeing into that. It's at this moment in time isn't going to be moving forward because so much history, as you said. So from myself personally, thank you so much to you, to Kate, to Karen, to Chris, Celia, for all the work that's gone.
Well, I don't, yeah, Chris has done the work, but I don't.
Well, I mostly went to some very nice lunches.
But I just remember it was one of the first things that came up when we got up to council. It's been, a long journey, but sometimes this is the way it is.
And I've got little souvenirs for each of you.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you so much.
I mean,
Yeah, please do, absolutely.
the amount of people that signed at the
Yeah.
store, really, and the response from all the groups, so all the groups in the Bay that were written to it, wrote back and said, yes, like it's not for want of wanting it to be there. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, if there's a spare one, we can give one to Joe.
There might be a spare. Have we got a spare? Kim's got all of them. Oh, have they?
Salisbury, Swingbridge
And rebuild. Oh, I see.
Well, they're slightly different. They were just part of the campaign. I just thought you might like to
Yeah, absolutely.
take one home and chuck it in the fire.
No, I've got
I think they're
that in
waiting
the
for
office.
one. Yeah, have you got one?
What you need?
Yeah, I've got, this
Thank you very
effectively
much.
looks like the original.
Well, some were there, some weren't.
All right.
I just walked I had from my side.
I'll have one.
Well, I'd like to ask, what's your next?
Well, I'm also involved as treasurer of the Backwall Community Residence.
Good.
That takes a fair bit of time too, so to be honest, there's some weight off my shoulders, off my mind.
Absolutely. I will thank you, Bruce, and thank you for these as well. Okay, so does anybody have any declarations of interest regarding any of the agenda items, Robert?
On the Community Arts Council.
Yeah.
I don't even know about the application, but yes.
The Arts Council, Robert. Cool, thank you. All right, anybody else? Excellent. We'll move into confirming the minutes from our last meeting. Would someone like to move this?
Late items.
Are there any late items?
Yeah, I see one through.
It doesn't meet the standing orders, unfortunately. There's no urgency to the matter. If we discuss it at the next board meeting, it's not going to have an impact on the outcome. That's the late item standing orders ruling.
Yeah.
But if there are any other late items that do need urgent discussion. So, but confirmation of the previous minutes actually sits before that anyway. So we'll go back to the confirmation of minutes.
Not on this.
Sorry, it doesn't run sheet.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So apologies for you. So we will, can I have someone to confirm the minutes, please? Oh, excellent. Robert, and a seconder. Right, seconder by. Chair Reynolds. All those in favour?
Aye.
Lovely. Thank you, everybody. So just a reminder too that we actually have a workshop at 3 o'clock. I'd missed that somehow. It was like you just reminded me the speed management workshop. So we'll work through and just keeping that in our minds as we go through. So moving on to our special projects funding. So is everyone clear that what we'll do today is we'll be putting forward the projects that we decide on. They will then go to staff for feasibility, and then they'll come back to us for our August meeting for the ratification. Cool. And I've talked to Elaine as well, because I know in our special projects policy, it said we will normally, and there's that keyword, normally, fund up to 5,000 for a project. We are able to give more than $5,000 with, what was the word?
Extraordinary circumstances.
So extraordinary circumstances with good reasoned decision making behind it. So we got a lot of good responses, and we also got some suggestions too, which some of them are great, some of them were way outside our scope, unfortunately, but we can talk briefly to them as we go through. So would anyone like to identify their preferred projects?
Could I just, first, just get would we just have a clarification on this graph? The spread of responses based on ranking with all the numbers.
Page 6.
Yeah, could I just make sure I'm interpreting this properly?
So chance of getting that on the screen.
Sure, give me one moment.
My understanding is that it was ranked, and the colours are how many of each rank each project received. So
That's number 1, 2, 3.
Right.
4.
yeah,
Right,
So-
yeah, I just thought, as long as we're all.
You look at
we've all got the
Rockpool,
same
right,
understanding of what it means.
If you look at Rockpool Pool, they had a
That's
huge amount of
Clearly
numbers
number
on
ones.
number 1.
Clearly
Yeah,
the
that's why that's
preferred
blue.
option from our community. Yeah, so is everyone happy with moving into discussion? Has anyone got anything they'd like to start with?
Yes, I'd just like to say that we got to bear in mind just the geographical spread.
Yeah,
I agree. I've been thinking about that and as well, and that, you know, we need to do more this side of the Musselin, say,
yeah,
or Zatoria.
Seeing they've lost so much.
yes. I know.
So I think we do have to attend to that. And I do have a question about the Rockpool Pool. So I just had a question about, and noticing the comments that came in asking for the Rockpool Hall roof to be replaced. So I understand that that's not a council building.
I believe it's not.
I didn't think it was.
No.
Oh, okay, so my because my notes say, oh, that there's a reserves fund for halls, but if it's not a council run hall, then it's not a.
I've seen that come up.
Ah,
I just-
no.
I rang that Shin on the way here to check with him, and he said he needed to have a look and come back to me, but he said it doesn't come up on our council insurance schedule. And there's been an assessment sort of survey of the quality of all of council's buildings recently, and it wasn't included in that. So I understood that it was either privately owned or held by a society or something. So good to understand that, and I
Yes,
suppose
yeah.
that would come back in the feasibility information. But
That's
in
true.
terms of the pool, what's its association to the hall or that reserve or ownership? So I guess if we identify something, I'm quite keen about the pool.
Yeah.
Because
My list.
it's out this side.
Yeah.
Primarily, we have some terrible drowning stats in New Zealand, some of the worst in the world, which we seem to say about a lot of things. And one of the things that helps people not drown is learning to swim. And as we've lost our some school pools and through the whole district, I think it's a really important thing to support.
I do too,
How much were they asking for?
but they weren't.
Well, they had a sort of
Bigger.
a program of upgrade different, there's some resealing, upgrading pumps and solar panels, and there was a sort of a.
Did they have a
number
rough
of-
figure?
Pardon?
Did they have a rough figure?
Yeah, they had got some quotes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But Nancy Jean said they've got some quotes for each part of the project, and they provide that sort of.
My understanding of special projects is that we can seed fund, we can help fund it, and we can fully fund it. Those are the three options we have. Now, seed funding is great, and we hold on to it until they've got the money. Fully funding it is also a really good option, then it gets done. Partly funding it is something that I'm always a little wary of. If it's a large amount of money for any of these projects, if it's a large amount of money that's going to go way over the, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 mark, then it's rather than actually calling it a partial fund, I think seed funding is probably a better way of kind of saying that. Otherwise, that money might just sit there for years and years and years and not actually get used. So I'm kind of just want to be careful on that.
Yeah, I think there's parts of the project at least that definitely fall within the sort of the amount of sort of money that we have to allocate to it, so that we'll be able to achieve and finish some parts of it.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's a thing, isn't there, about whether you just give enough money for someone to do their thing, then a drip here and a drip there, and everybody does a little, and they all go to pub charity and grants for rates and. Anyway, so my pick of these, my blue number one would be that pool project.
Would you want to, are you thinking giving all of the funding or a large amount of the funding?
I'd like to think we'd give a significant amount. So I'm just trying to find the application now linked to where their information is.
No, they don't have that. We came up with the projects, and that's why the feasibility study would need to occur.
It's
Let's see
staff
more
report.
about it.
So
Henry bought
They
to
have
us.
got quotes and
Yeah.
sort of a program work, but they haven't provided that
No, they haven't
to
done that
us
to us.
yet. Other than just sort of a verbal kind of run through of what they're hoping to achieve. And they've got other funding streams they're looking at, so it'll be, I guess, it's partly waiting to hear back from us whether it sort of gets
So
over the line, but
shall I just throw a figure out and then we can start from there?
well, I mean, if you like, I'll get in touch with Nancy Jen and get some firmer.
We probably need
Is
to
it-
decide to stay whether or not we're going to put it forward to staff for the feasibility.
Right, yeah,
We'll
okay.
form part of the feasibility.
Yeah.
So I would, shall I just chuck out my top three that I've picked? So Rockpool Pool, I'd be happy to give 15 to. Fence at the Dangerous, which is kind of in the middle-ish, kind of, it's not my favourite, but 12 and, or actually 10, sorry, I'm changing it around, and then 12 to the pickleball playground, which also rated quite highly. Well, it was sort of, it was the top, you know, one,
Yeah,
lots of
Number
people
one.
rated as number one.
priority.
Where is this playground?
So the playground is actually, I've only just discovered that it's actually road reserve. We thought it was ordinary recreational reserve, but it's road reserve. But it's a section that goes in off, not far past the store. And it's easy to miss it, but it goes back to the beach. It's just an open piece of grass, isn't it? And it goes back to the beach and it's got quite a lot of
Decent house
vegetation.
section.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it looks like a house section. And
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been a request from the Pickleball Residents Association for a playground out there because there is some,
And the one at the campground is,
a very small one,
it is,
Which
and
is
it's
private.
but it's private.
quite old as well.
Yes, it's private. So anyway, that is, that's something that I would support, bearing in mind that's two things that are out in this neck of the woods.
So,
I tend to agree with you. So those are the three things that I would.
yeah,
like.
those are the things I pulled out from reading and listening. Grant?
I wasn't sure about that amount of money. I wasn't thinking of three things. I was thinking, because we've got 37,000 and that's $5,000 per project. That's a lot more projects and we don't have to, like I say, we don't have to. So I would rather spread some of that money a little wider in that respect and put money towards, I mean, did we actually have, who came up with the figure for the Packwell playground?
And cost of.
There
There was no figure, this is a contribution towards it.
contribution,
Yeah,
so-
so certainly would.
Is it-
Where is the original,
It's council
Really?
fund.
yeah, so where is the money, it's council funded, so, you know, I would prefer to give our money, keep it to the $5,000 for projects, as close as possible, maybe up to 7 or 8, but I would rather see more projects funded with this money than less fund.
Yeah.
So if council's funding it, we're giving a contribution of 5,000. That's, as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy with that. However, I'm be a little bit reluctant to give that much money for the 11,000 out of the funds, because that's double, and I'd rather see something else funded as well.
Sure, and I was thinking, I had the similar thought, and then I'm thinking, well, actually, 5,000 is not going to go far towards getting any of these projects completed.
No.
You won't see a completed
That
project.
is our criteria, and that's what I really would like to sort of assign us to. You know, 7 or 8,000 maybe. You know, that's you know where it comes up.
So
for me.
what, do you want to fund all the projects? Is that what you're saying?
No, not necessarily, because I don't think any all of them are necessarily the best use of money either. And so I'm just going to go back to the list because I've forgotten the list. So I'd like to see contribution to because of what the public also came back with, the top 3 or 4, I'm not, I'm kind of interested towards definitely towards the Packwell playground and the Rockville pool and the fence. But I'd also like some money to go to that tunnel house.
I have several issues, unfortunately, with the tunnel house. I don't know if anyone feels the same, but there's no land for it. There's nothing guaranteed. I feel like would be, the money would, unless we have a location. It was the same with the disc
There is a
golf,
location. It's the location of the housing.
but nothing's
I've sent it
confirmed.
through a lot.
I see.
No, but that
it's not.
there's no point in.
Who's going to pay for the water? Who's going to sign the MOU? Who's taking charge of the project? Because Duncan's come back and said, I'm not signing anything. That's not my jam, which is fair enough.
Yeah, no, it's not him. He's a volunteer that does it.
Yeah.
So,
So
but
who's
we're going to
gonna-
lose all the hanging baskets in town. if it
Yeah,
doesn't happen.
I understand that, but where
So
are we giving the money to, is my question.
we're giving the money to to a tunnel house.
Yeah, but who to? Who's going to?
The materials, the builder.
So you're clear about what you're wanting, you're clear you're not in agreement with it, and maybe with
No.
these things we go around, because
Yeah.
otherwise we're
We'll
gonna
just go back
do
and
this
forth,
till
yeah.
Christmas,
Yeah,
so,
we could.
I just needed to explain.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I get it.
Oh, I
totally
haven't quite
get that.
finished yet.
Oh, you haven't finished yet?
No, not really. So I see it as an MOU with the co-housing, the trust. And
With,
the land, the people who own
with who?
with the trust, with TDC. Or the community board.
And the Mohua Housing Trust.
Yeah. And so that's what I see the MOU with. And I sent you through the email about the costs. I don't think they'll be very high. It's about an hour of water a day, which is not huge. And I think a little bit of feasibility that would need to go into it. I haven't gone there for the simple reason, and that's what these projects are about, feasibility too. So I believe that we need to look at the feasibility of this, and
That's fair.
and weigh it up to what we will also lose, because we would lose our hanging baskets in town at this point. And unless somebody's got a better place to do it, and I'm totally open to that, I still think it would be it's about having it close to town, and it's also about having a
So when you say you're totally open to, I'm just trying to be
Yeah.
really clear and transparent. So you're in charge of where it goes?
no.
Okay.
No. We collectively should make that choice.
Right.
Look, it's come from council in the first place. Other towns other towns in our region have an agreement with our town, Motueka, for instance, or Richmond. They have a business association that organises it.
Yeah.
We're a bit unique. We're a bit unusual. We didn't have that. We don't have that that organisation to back this. So what has historically happened is that council has paid for, and as part of Lynn's budget, is they've paid for they bought the tunnel house in the first place. The council bought the tunnel house in the first place, paid for it to be put up in community gardens, and it's now that piece of garden has reverted back to the original landowners, so it was taken down. Still had some life in it, but it's now dismantled. There needs to be a new place for it to go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we won't have the hanging baskets. But Duncan's volunteer.
I feel like you've given a lot of information,
Right.
like heaps of detail, and I think that when we choose, we'll all go round. I think it's a good idea, isn't it, Chair?
I think
But when
so.
we
I think
choose,
we'll have to
when we
roll.
land on the things we agree on, then all that detail and feasibility happens in a report to us. But I feel like, this could just go on, and I feel like I understand enough of the information and
So-
detail about it.
Yeah, so if we move to Robert and you list your things, and then we'll meet in the middle.
Well, I was definitely going towards the contribution towards the pool. We're replacing the wooden fence because I didn't feel like it was going to happen otherwise, which this was the
Put it on my list.
The paper wall playground, I'm open to that. I didn't realise the history, but now I've got some history with it in the location. But I've personally been to the paper wall campground, and the playground is not big enough. But yeah, I in my mind, I just have about it was not necessarily the tunnel house, but about the
hanging baskets.
the
Yeah.
hanging baskets, and however that looked, whether it was even they were tracked over the hill, whatever.
As long as they remain, yeah.
It doesn't have to be. It's lovely that it's here, but it's and I know they've been struggling for volunteers.
Okay, that's
It's just that I'm open to it, but I love the hanging baskets.
Yeah.
I did not want to do the Christmas decoration.
no.
I'm happy to go to the mountains.
Chris, did we have your list? No, we didn't.
Yeah, I'm not, so the tunnel house thing is too complicated right now in terms of the Morwood Trust. The council have already funded a tunnel house and it's been pulled down and, you know, it just doesn't, I'm interested in your idea around, you know, whoever's doing them in Motueka, and maybe we can expand something there and just stick them on a truck when they're ready. I don't know, but it's not something I'm inclined to put on the list here. No to the CCT network, and I voiced that on behalf of those that don't like the network. So whatever my personal view is about that, I think it's important that views expressed here by some. And in terms of the decorations,
yeah, they're so expensive and so hard.
so really I do just come down to those three that you put forward as well as being the prime things for me. And I'm just like to understand where we're a bit chicken and egg here around information and decision. Aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We need the
it'll-
feasibility
it'll
to have
come.
final.
But
yeah,
in terms of the
debate.
playground, is that already on council's? I can't remember if that's already on
The
council's.
playground.
Yeah,
Yes, it is on the reserves list, but they can't fund it at this time. So it's on their list of things to do.
it's been identified, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Does that mean the money would just sit there until it was, they did have the rest of the money to build it?
No, they have projects on their list.
Yeah.
But they don't have the funding.
But that's what I mean. So if we put the money towards it, the money would sit there until they had the rest of
Well,
the money to
that's
build it.
where the fee, sorry, we're not, just to clarify, then that is where the feasibility report and stuff would come.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll identify those things.
Exactly how that would work.
Yeah.
And in terms of the wooden fence, it's just a bloody shocker. I mean, we're just getting word, I see it on that end of it. It's just such an
Needs dealing
embarrassment.
with.
And I know there are difficulties, which we'll hear about in feasibility, hopefully,
Yes. Well, Robert
around.
has offered to demolish it at well, as part of his budget. So we don't
Yeah.
have to cover that. We just have to cover the rebuild.
Yes, but then there's a whole issue around.
Yes.
What's it called?
Occupy.
A license to occupy.
Yeah.
Whose is it? Is just, anyway, that whole thing.
Yeah.
I see it. I was thinking about this when I was in Richmond, actually, having some nice sushi in that little, you know, sundial square thing, between meetings. And I thought, well, there's a whole lot spent in there making that all nice, which is cool. But there was a point made to us around council owning that or doing it, or the board or something that seemed like it's going to be difficult. So understanding the sort of any legal matters around it, but something's got to happen.
And that's where our
before
friend
summer,
Yes.
surely.
Yes, that's where our friend.
Oh, that's the complication, is it's road, it's on the road.
Yes, yes. So it comes out of his budget. as
Yeah.
well.
So those are the three I'd like some further information around.
Mhm.
And while we do have a $5,000 limit, it's not a limit, but
No.
I'd like to think that these are significant things and
Yeah.
that we've got
Significant.
some money. Let's give enough that's going to give some impetus for each of them.
Thank you. Henry.
Yeah, I largely concur with those three projects, the pool and the fence. I guess with the league around the pack of wood, you know, so I'm not sure what the like who's sort of driving it there, but I'm all for it, you know, it's a very good thing. Playgrounds, kids, you know, kids to play on out there. The campground just down the road, so I'm sure we'll get plenty of use. Yeah, I think with the fence, I know there's a $5,000 sort of limit in the criteria there, but the other side of it is it's sort of, it's money that I'd rather sort of spend it all on projects rather than have it sort of sitting in a not our bank account, but you know, so I think it's community money that.
Yeah. So I think,
Put to work really.
I'll just pick up a new use of the word limit there, so it's not a limit.
Yeah, I
Yeah, so it's usually, and I did
yeah,
for the lane for.
Oh, cool.
So I think,
What did you
But
say?
usually, yeah, he said as long as we have justification and reasonable
yeah,
discussion.
given that we haven't, funded any projects,
Mm.
well, since I've been on here.
Yeah.
using that.
Yes.
You know, catch up.
Yeah.
You know,
Great.
so, we haven't done in the last couple of years.
Mm.
And I think that probably be able to fully fund that, replacing that fence, the amount of money, I think. Probably
Yeah,
just
and I think actually,
feasibility study will come back with.
I think that raises a really good point, Henry. So we can sort of say, well, we're thinking this much, but the feasibility study might really change that. So,
Yeah, that's true. We can way out. of it.
so Celia.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I did take note of the comment and the feedback about the Christmas decorations. I thought that was quite interesting. We said that not everybody
No,
is
that's right.
interested in Christmas, so I think they do make the place look really nice over Christmas.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, I like Christmas decorations, but I don't think that actually they.
I don't think anyone else does.
I know.
Yeah.
I with golden decorations.
Give it up now. I've given up on Christmas.
Yeah, I know, don't just, you know, but anyway, for the purposes of this, we have to.
And the ongoing costs, having someone to manage them, it's
Yeah.
just, it is very, very
Yeah.
tricky. Lots are still up because they can't afford to take them down.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And they can be cool, I mean, it could be
Yeah.
summer decorations.
Yeah.
That would take a whole lot of.
What I just wrote down.
Yeah, I do like that. I do think that we could actually look at some other kinds of
Yeah.
lighting.
And for Collingwood too.
Other sort of, the different types of perhaps more people
Yeah.
lighting might be nice.
We did do lights one year,
Yeah.
but people vandalised them.
Yeah, and not only
So
that,
the
you know,
mower, the
someone has to
welcome to
take the
Takiko
power.
Moho sign, I think that's nice to have.
It's a nice to have, but we do have one.
In terms of the Packwell playground, that is something that came up from the Packwell Residents Association, and I do understand. Bear with me, that there are some funds in the Golden Bay, in the Packwell Residents Association that, you know, could contribute to that, but this is just.
I'm the treasurer, so you're like.
I'm waiting for the nodding and the smiling.
And given that there is now a rock wall at the end of that, reserve, it gives an access way down to the beach, down some stone steps down to the beach. So does that, I feel, I like to support the meat baskets. I've heard what Grant has said, and I do feel that it is our core business in a way that, you know, appearance of our town, and if we are having to give away the Christmas decorations, I
There's something.
yeah, but my concern is that I just don't know what the entity is.
Yes,
would
that was
actually
my
take
question before.
responsibility for it. I know you're saying that it's, but I'd like to see that within the Mahua housing project, there is somebody who's committed to it, and I don't have confidence as yet that there would be somebody who's raring to take it on in there. Can we get feasibility, some
We can actually
information from
have it,
them?
and it would be interesting to see if we can have the suggestion that Robert made. We tag in with the mortuary and see if that's a feasible, acceptable option.
Yeah, and I think the wooden fence is, I agree, I think we've got to do that.
Yes, we do.
And, yes, it's all, for reasons of people learning to swim, et cetera.
Okay. So Grant,
It's me.
sorry, Silly.
Oh, no, look, I've just got one little question, and that was that as regards the fence, we kind of have got a bit held up about the policy for occupation of the footpath by
Yeah.
businesses. Aren't we in
Yeah.
train with doing that policy?
Open-
at Council?
Open places, open spaces
With the-
bylaw.
Would the feasibility report speak to
coming
that
up.
as well? Would that cover that as well, Kim, the feasibility? And surely if we just put.
Oh, yeah, the
fence in-
feasibility would tap into.
Yeah, and we're not putting in tables or chairs, it's just gonna be a really nice fence.
Just,
Yeah, I think. And the
Yes.
feasibility, well, I mean,
With a big
glass.
ledge, with a big ledge on it.
oh,
Yeah, for
oh, you mean a table?
So we're not calling it a table.
Right.
a ledge for holding up. the
A ledge.
fence.
A ledge fence.
Well, we could absolutely get the feasibility back on that, we can mention that to staff and say, hey, look, could you give us info on
Because we
this?
don't want to be seen to be building a dike
Gosh, no.
for the dangerous.
No.
In terms of the tunnel house thing and the feasibility, I think it'll be because some council money goes into each year paying for things. So in terms of just finding out exactly how much and what it goes towards, and this business about can we hook in, or what are the other options, you know, to understand what's possible a bit more.
Yeah.
With that money that's already available.
Yeah.
There's about 100 baskets. I don't know, that's a expensive trip over the hill, just to bring 100 baskets over, because they need flat space, so. if they hold
Going
trucks,
Solly's sponsorship or.
you know what I mean, it's
Stock
like,
truck,
that's,
decorate the sides.
that's as I know it.
Yeah, I mean, it would have, but that's what the feasibility
You know,
study would
and
tell
well,
us as
yeah,
well.
that's right.
Marine farmers up and the empty trucks coming back.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Make it a community project. Next time you're over in
Sandheap.
Lot, bring back a basket. Yeah.
In terms of these other suggestions that have come through, have you got a
Yes.
plan about us going through those? Or
Well, I
speaking to some of them?
I looked at, I have gone through some of them, as I said, are way outside our scope. Some of them will form a great pool of suggestions for next year, particularly the fence of the Taki playground. I know as a board, we've discussed that before. It got shelved due to lack of funding. But I feel that it is really important, even more so now with the Fulton Hogan yard there, and there is heavy trucks funding for. And it is, I know people, you know, some of the comments are like, oh, you shouldn't fence in a playground, children need to be free. Your children need to be safe. And if you've got a runner who likes to run, it's not fun.
Given that trucks
So-
are very, but doesn't that, I've just been, as we've been speaking, I've been thinking about the RFCs.
For the hawks.
Well, yeah, just the extent of what reserve financial contributions can be spent on. I know we've committed to using some of Tākeki's or Golden Bay's for Motu Wicked Pool. And plenty have come this way already.
Yeah.
But in terms of the playground and the fencing and the playground at Pakawau, I'm quite interested to know about what RFCs can be spent on.
No, they could form part of it.
Over reserve? That's a question, I suppose.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Because it's anticipated that there'll be, of course, the fund gets filled when subdivisions happen. There's one happening just up the road actually, and isn't there up past?
Yes, up the area down.
Up past White's Bridge, no, the other bridge, this bridge. Anyway, so it's anticipated, and you don't know, once, it's lots of subdivision applications are coming in and development projects are coming in before the DC's fees go up. So council's had a whole lot of those arrive, and that may be what's motivated this particular subdivision, although there are others too. So although they're in train and the application's in, it doesn't mean the funds might not come as soon as you might think, because they might actually put it on hold for quite a while or not get there for, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 years.
That's an interesting question, something we've been asked to start to look at too.
Particularly in terms of the Pakawau project, I think. And just as a little indicator, the Pohara campground playground, council contributed $130,000 for that kit, and the camp manager put in the bouncy blow up thing and the other, you know, the fence and some concrete and things. But if you go and look at that and see what you get for $130,000, it's not heaps. The bloody swing thing, another swingy thing, a big climbing rope thing, which is great, and a little, you know. So if you think about a decent playground at Pakawau, it's a lot of money, and then we've got to think, well, it's giving $5,000 or $8,000 towards that.
Any use.
The best use of, or should we chase down some other lines to try and make it happen sooner?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I say that seed funding actually, it resonates with me a lot. Once the people know they've got this much money, then they go out and say, look, you know, to the funders, we've got this much money, can we have more, you know, to get this over the line? So I really like that seed funding concept a lot.
Cool. So the other thing that came up on the comments was the funding the permanent disc golf course for Golden Bay. Again, great, but until we'd had an actual proper location for it, and I'd be a little bit.
I couldn't see what was wrong with the Rooster Tie Reserve, really.
They've been at the, up the rig.
Yeah, he did say to be in the rec park. So once, I guess once they got
Next to the tennis court.
an MOU in place with the rec park, then we could, and he's willing to come and talk at any
It's
stage.
basically an unused area next to the tennis courts.
Yes,
It's essentially unused.
yeah, utilised in the winter for parking, but that's about all.
Hardly.
No, just when there's home games on. Yeah,
Maybe showing
yeah.
the odd big home
The odd
game.
big home game. And the other thing was the Rockville Hall that came out strongly.
Does anybody know who owns it?
No, we didn't, Jess,
Nick was
there's
gonna-
one rule for Rockville's doing. Just gonna pull up a map, have a look.
Oh, Nick did ring me, could call him and find out.
Oh, yeah.
Like I do,
Gotta have a race.
a text from him, Rockville Hall is private,
Okay.
but the pool is managed by reserves and is TDC owned.
Okay, cool.
Right.
All right.
So
Yes.
it's private. I wonder whether it's a trust or private.
You know, most of the trucks.
I don't think it's the.
Might be like Puramahoy, Puramahoy's,
An incorporated society type thing.
Puramahoy looks like that, so the same. It's not a
You
council.
think so?
No, it's not. It's nothing for halls neither.
Right, it's in there, yes.
So,
Okay, so private hall,
private halls,
so that could go on our list for future projects. So having a list going around the table, so we're strongly, our number one and investigating the hanging basket.
We're gonna miss out this
Finding
year, the
this-
hanging baskets, by the way.
What's that, sorry?
No matter what we do, I think we'll miss out with the hanging baskets this year because something needs to be done by September, and I don't think nothing's going to happen before then.
But our next meeting is in August, so everything is ratified in August, so too.
Too late.
Too
Needs to be, something needs to be up and running by the beginning of September.
Right.
Yeah, that's, you know, I mean, we had plenty of time to do it, and we have taken that time, and it's been okay, but you know, I just know that their program is, and we didn't find out that they lost the old site
So just
early enough.
in regards to, we're discussing these other things, and the bike park was going to be a feasibility study.
Yes.
Through
Let's go
the
back.
better off
The better
funding,
funding,
the
yes.
state park, and so that is something that could be.
Yeah, could look at.
by us in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm not sure if,
council had some money set aside, like 35,000, I remember seeing in those, you know, those charts we get see in the reports, red, greens and oranges, and it sat there for quite a while the Swanterra negotiation was happening around the land, and that was council money that we put towards the design phase. And then the better off funding came for 50,000, and that's gone. So I did ask the question the other day
we have a
in a
35.
meeting about what happened with the 35. I haven't had a response yet, but I'll follow up on that. So it might be that the council's, council's got that on their radar, and we're wanting to progress it.
Yeah,
So that could be that.
even if we put 10 or 5 just into, that would work.
Yeah, it came up a few times.
Yeah, it did, it has.
Yeah, that's that email we had.
Yeah.
In terms of the basketball hoop in town, we have a basketball playing teenager that stays with me every Sunday night. And on the way to school this morning, I said to him, "What do you think about a hoop in town?" Well, he thought that was the most fantastic idea. That would be great. So because the kids, they go up to the rec park, and you'll know they use the outside backboards and courts a lot. They're just great. But he thought that kids, the ones that don't have a bike and they don't have transport and
Walk. But there's only one hoop. That's one downfall for that place. There's only one hoop at the red
Up
park.
there, yeah,
Yes,
they just.
so when you get a group, then can will fit in.
So where would you put the one for the town? Would it be in the car park? Or-
I asked Lewis and said, where would you put it? And he couldn't.
Would it go at the new skate park?
Well, that's what I thought, is that when
Yeah.
it's designed, when it's developed.
Would we include a
That would be
with
great
the,
to have,
with
yeah.
the hoop? Yeah, that would be so great.
Even if they just play half court, so you
Yeah.
don't, we need two hoops, but.
The other thing is that just for us, and just carry on with what I was going to say before, was that we did get some suggestions, and there was a bit of a timing glitch in that Tony Strange contacted some of the reserve staff about if they had any suggestions for this, and they came in form of email after we had set our list. So they're not included here on this list that has come from the community.
No.
And the two things, I think, were some support
Cemetery
for
work.
Tonga and the Collingwood Cemetery,
Cemetery.
which is something that Lynn Hall is concerned about.
Is that?
And, but I don't know, we just
That's
need a
in our-
better report
I think that,
for that.
sorry.
What-
So now,
I can
We
tell
need a
myself.
report.
But you know, there's operating budgets for all these things,
Yeah.
and there's that set aside and it's worked out in a very detailed ways for every bit of bloody thing that goes on, including all the cemeteries need. And when I think about, I'm getting a bit.
I'm not advocating for it.
No, I'm
just
No, I know, but I'm thinking,
included.
I'm thinking about the title of this is special projects money, and when we start looking at things like helping out the reserves team with a bit of money, with cemeteries or something, that's just operational budget.
Yeah, that's,
however,
And I don't think it's really the place for, I don't think this process is a place for staff to come forward with ideas so much.
yeah, holes in their budget.
can I just say that, I've looked through all the special projects funds that Moderator's done for the last 7 years. And they did fund seating, I think it is, at the cemetery and a bit of a tidy up around one of their cemeteries. So that's the sort of thing that they also funded. But it's more about a new seat in an area at the cemetery, and I'd be all right with something like that perhaps, but maybe not just a tidy up.
I'd just like us to have, to decide whether or not we're going to bear in mind these things that come from, or whether or not we say now that we don't see them as being relevant to our special projects funding. That would be my inclination to say that, but we just need to decide that because it's coming as, you know, as correspondence and requests rather than just
straight from the email.
But the community haven't had a say about them, so I think it's just a weird process. Have staff contribute some ideas after the fact, and I just don't think we should.
Tidying up town was definitely not something.
what's the.
Oh, some of those
Clean
other,
up the chemist building.
Yeah, there were lots.
almost embarrassing.
There's one about the playground here.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Needs, a new fence, I'm not quite sure, it's
Got
quite,
it,
just-
perhaps similar to
What about
the
it?
front of town, it's quite low,
What's that might be?
very secure, but.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool, okay.
All like that.
I don't think so. Check in with the team
Yeah, they're on.
about
Yeah.
where on the list of replacement and upgrade.
So
Yeah.
are we all in agreement that we're going to go back to staff and request feasibility around Rockville Pool, the Pakawo Playground development, replacing the wooden fence at the Dangerous Kitchen, and questions around the hanging baskets? Is that what we're?
Yep.
And we're not overly keen to assign a dollar value yet. We're happy to hold that off till the
Right.
feasibility comes. Right, all those,
Well, someone needs to move the resolution.
yes, I'll get to that. Sorry, I was just
Instead
checking
of- myself
myself by forwarding an email that I'd forgotten to forward everyone, so my apologies. We'll talk about that.
Hmm.
So what is the resolution?
Well, I'm just gonna throw it up on the screen.
That is. Okay,
Because we've just had to tweak it somewhat just to take.
Yeah,
Sorry,
thank you.
Debbie, those help.
thank you.
So that leads us to the four.
Look at the four. So we've noted the extraordinary and the overwhelming community support. What does that feedback? Oh, yeah. Okay, so without reading, I'm happy to read it out if everyone would like me to. Good.
Read it.
I'm happy to move that. Have a seconder?
I'll submit it.
Lovely. Second, all those in favour?
Aye.
Lovely, thank you, guys. I'm just really quickly, sorry, I know it's totally out of meeting order, but we received a letter from the Livingwood Fair. Did everyone get that? I couldn't work out who
Yes,
it
I got
was.
it.
Oh, good, I've just brought it around again, by accident, apologies.
Didn't get it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you. Enjoy
So-
it, Wayne.
That falls into correspondence, but because I don't think Jess got it, and that was totally my fault.
I did get it.
Oh, you did? I couldn't work out who
And
got it.
no, sorry,
No, go.
I got it, but I didn't forward it to the board because it felt like it was a blanket
Yeah,
line CC
absolutely
email that
did.
wasn't directed straight at the board. It was a letter that I think was blanket sent to everybody who had previously.
Right, oh,
wanted it.
apologies.
So my thoughts on that were that because it wasn't addressed directly to the Golden Bay Community Board,
Oh, just.
I had no way of knowing if it was in my inbox because of the community board. I kind of made the assumption that it might have been.
Figure out.
But it could have come through any of the.
I got it through my gallery. So-
Yeah, so I've just buggered it now, sorry, because language. Because, I've sent it to the Golden Bay Community Board because I didn't know who had it and who hadn't.
Sure.
But
So-
that's all right. I mean,
That's all right.
we haven't been an epic supporter of the event, so it's clearly not
No, not us.
directed us accurately.
I like the idea of the event. It's always been a very good event. It's brought a lot of money to the Bay, a lot of people to the Bay and some good
Yeah.
stuff to the Bay. So
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know, it's a lot we way out, but I'd somehow like to support it in some way.
Shall we?
It's not necessary.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness, they're well organised. Shall we wait and see if they approach us directly? Okay, let's do that.
They're seeking a letter of support.
Yeah, I mean,
just
Seeking
so-
letters of
yeah.
support.
For funding.
So I'll answer your question, can you write a letter of support?
That's it, right? Sorry,
Can
Robert?
you write a letter of support?
Yeah.
You mean for their funding applications?
Oh. Yeah, okay. So no, they're not keen really, are they?
I think this is a formulaic email, and if someone has some contact with them more regularly, that they get invited to, if they really are wanting something, just to come and see us or send something directly to the board. Yeah, not just something incorporating 100 stallholders.
Yes, just.
Sounds- Okay, oh, good, all right, I'll let that go.
Right. Ask for some clarification. or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that would be great, thanks, Henry.
If it is to sort of
Yeah.
see what, what they'd like us to put in the letter or something. No, bring it to lips.
Right, oh, that would be.
She's overseas for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Okay, great, so that moves us on to our discretionary fund application, of which there are two. One from Tasman Bay Guardians, one from the Golden Bay Arts Council. Robert, you've already registered your declaration of interest for the Art Council, so we'll just sit back for that discussion, but we'll do Tasman Bay Guardians first. Any comments?
Yes.
I have some, go Chris, see if they're the same.
Oh. Tasman Bay Guardians are a legitimate, highly functioning, effective, productive group. And they're the real deal. The application reads a little like
Dodgy?
It reads like it's just sort of a bit formulaic,
Thank
and conservation language that
Oh,
we
I'm
might.
glad you're here to speak for them.
Anyway, but I know Jude, who is one of the people running this, and they have been working with Mana Whenua Ki Moho over here. They run projects around the district where probably you go on their website and have a look. It says a lot about them. It is actually really effective what they're doing, and I wholeheartedly support them.
So is this the group that was started by Stu Robertson,
Don't know.
which was just for you know, Henry, whether it was started by Stu Robertson, the.
No, I'm not sure, I
Was
don't.
it,
So
was it got Fran Pawsey in it? Because Stu Robertson had Tasman Bay Guard, that's what I thought it was called, which was the Marine Protection Organisation for Tasman Bay. And then he got a job with Doc, but the organisation continued on.
Yes, This is the organisation that's on the
This is
website,
the same one,
because it's got Stu Robinson.
right, so it's the same one, so they've expanded, and I remember actually talking to them in the past about actually getting involved in Golden Bay and our marine, issues with
Yeah.
restoration in Golden Bay, and that was years and years ago. But they seem to, as Chris says, they seem to have gone from strength to strength.
Great.
Well,
I've got
I move that we give them $500 because I think that's a good application. They are a good organisation. I agree with Chris. They're very legitimate.
I didn't love the application, but I love the fact that Chris sincerely know.
They do operate in the bay
And they're
and,
talking about.
they, and if you look at their site, their programs and projects are, one of them's called Experiencing Marine Reserves. So they take people out, Joe's nodding, so you're aware of them. A whole bunch of wetsuits, all the kit, and people arrive and they take them, snorkeling. They've been over here and taken a trip down, from Waikarapupu, down from there, down the river with, the iwi whānau particularly, but other people as well. So they're very active on the ground. They've got the Whitebait Connection project. So establishing and working away with habitat. Drains to harbour and rubbish-free beaches, but they're like how some groups sound like they've got all the bizzo with their writing, but they actually sort of not doing a whole lot. But they're very active and functional.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So with, they say they're working with community groups in Golden Bay. I'd just be quite interested to know, I know you've mentioned Mana Whenua Ki Mahua, but who the community groups are that they're working with. I mean, I support them, but I feel I want to be more confident about their locked-in stuff in the Bay. And who these community groups actually.
Oh, there we go, Painsford and Lake Killarney,
Yes.
that's where they're working, yeah.
I know they got
They're
funding.
not,
from-
I don't know of anything being done at Painsford. I
Mm.
mean, I'm on the ground at Painsford and I'm not aware of any engagement by them up there, certainly no sign of it.
Well, if they're saying that's what they're gonna do, that's
Yeah.
what they're gonna do.
And then we'll get the accountability, won't we, Jess?
Yeah.
And if
They don't sort of operate just doing their own little thing, so they're really connected into dock and I just thought they were doing something in the schools, but maybe it's not there.
Funding here, Collingwood area school.
Yeah,
Well, Pippa and James have just been whitebait identified, and I think a lecture on stream health driving home. Yeah, they have been in the schools, so.
Yeah, so, but this, I'm always just a bit wary of.
Yeah.
After our.
I couldn't-
Experience of not actually,
Yeah.
getting in very effectively, but it sounds like they do.
Yeah.
It would just be good to.
So it looks like they're going to
We report from them as to what they've
Actually,
done.
That would be my point. I've never seen to this date an accountability report back from any of the organisations that set money, given money. Yeah, can you see around everybody? I think it'd be nice for us all to see.
Well, they should be actually getting them, shouldn't they? They're going with.
Well, don't,
They actually don't, they come in, we keep a track of them coming in,
Yeah.
but they haven't been going into the agenda.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
A bit more,
if you have a look at their website, I don't know if they brought it up or not, but here's the team of people that are involved. So these are people who are actively involved in projects and
I'm aware of
programs.
all that, yeah.
Oh, are you? So,
I'm aware
so,
of that.
you know, they're like the opposite of a group that gets together and doesn't do very much.
So would I be right in saying, so when they say to facilitate engagements and actions alongside the community, they're talking about Painsford and Lake Killarney?
Yeah, those things seem to have been thrown in there. I'd like to know, when they say Lake Killarney, who are they working with Lake Killarney?
Would it be iwi, just iwi or no?
Oh, well, that's what I don't know.
They've got a strong relationship into council and dock, the whole shebang.
To what they're actually doing. They need to do. with
I'd
Lake
definitely like
Killarney.
to, I'd like to grab the money anyway.
Yeah.
Been looking and look
Well, I
for
like
the
to do
accountability report, okay. Well, should we do it all at once? When we do the second one?
I thought because Robert's Standing out of the second one, I'd just like to, I think it's better that we do them separately.
But not. So I just do them separately or just do them together?
We can do them, we can do like, yeah.
Oh, awesome, we'll do it separately then. All right, all those in favour of the 500 to the Tasmanian Guardians, which is moved by Grant. Oh, do we have a second?
Not a second yet.
Seconded by Celia. Great, everybody happy? Lovely. Okay, and the Golden Bay Community Arts Council requesting funding for play arts, and we've funded this in the past.
It's good that-
They've got a good application.
And it's good that it's been a while since we gave them money.
Yeah, it's once a year, it's an.
It is a finite thing.
Yeah, I'd be supportive of that.
Right, does somebody want to move, let it be?
Yeah.
Accepted, and just a reminder to them that they can, unable to use the funding for
Food,
for coordinator hours.
or
Which is
food or drink.
budget. No alcohol, food is okay.
Is it?
No, I don't-
I don't think it is.
The food, no, would prefer not to be,
Well,
oh,
we
yes, it
made-
doesn't matter, it's going into the budget, just as long as their accountability doesn't say 10 bottles of wine.
Well, we made a decision not to fund the RSA, to
Oh, we
provide
did.
food for people.
Yeah,
and
we
the
did.
NZEX
Yeah, you're
thing. So
right.
I-
Towards the hall hire would be by,
Yeah.
because that was $700.
Yep, it's a good point, sorry, Grant, thank you, and Chris. Okay, all right, so all the, who moves that one?
Yep.
Henry moves that, Nova second, seconded by Grant, all those in favour? Except for Robert. Lovely. Great.
That's why I said the first.
Sorry, who was that in the second one? Yes, so
Oh,
Henry, Grant. And no Robert.
Just wonder, could I just make something out here, just in regard to the discretionary funding? There is this issue that comes up of the lawn mowing out at, 7th Street, which, Mr. Bajent is doing, has done for a long, long time. Yes, there is, it's just, the question is, whether an organisation needs to apply for discretionary funding. I mean, it's maybe that there could be an organisation found to apply on behalf of him for that lawn
I
mowing.
think it does have to be no, I think the report, I think you scroll back. Oh, no, it does have to be an organisation.
Steve Richards has brought it up again, but it's been brought up a number of times over the years.
Graham?
John,
Yeah. Rod Badger, that's Rod
right.
Badger, sorry, Rod Badger, yeah, he's been mowing the lawn out there at 7th Street voluntarily
Yeah,
for a
the
long,
reserve
long, long
part.
time. Reserve, part, yeah, it's actually road reserve, and roads won't fund him at all, and it does make a huge difference in the case out there, but my question was, what do we have, there would need to be an organisation by, wouldn't be for that.
Maybe Pekawar, because the Pekawar Ratepayers
Yes.
Association could be the
Yes, that's
uh,
right.
behind the
That's
scenes on that
fine.
one.
Yep, well, thanks. I'll
That's a good
They cover the whole
suggestion.
area.
suggestion.
People community, as a result of our meeting out there with, about the planting project, we went and met at one of the, house batch owners, and about 20 odd people came along from around there, and with Stephen, is it, the TDC postcard guy, and talking about the whole planting project out there. This happened a while ago. Was it last summer maybe? And as a result of that, they thought they might form a Kuponga association. One thing about the mowing, and this is a bit delicate, is that actually, and this was told to me by some people who live out there, actually Rod has taken it upon himself to actually keep expanding the mowing for all the area that's done now. And that's a part of why some folk think, well, actually, and actually what it does is then other people are annoyed about the camper vans that pull up there. And maybe one of Freedom Camp, and the whole mowing of it makes it look like a reserve.
area was
Mowed
talking about?
area more than if it was just this rough.
Oh,
stuff.
Well, you go straight, just to point them out, come to the first corner, instead of turning to the left, you
No,
go
no.
straight ahead.
Whereabouts?
Are we talking about this area? in here?
Yes, that's
In
it.
there,
That's it in there.
right,
Yeah, but he
Trees
would,
that come
he
up.
would, Swingbridge has set out a planting plan and for that whole area, which they've all agreed with. So it would be the area that they have all agreed, you know, and I don't know that it would be feasible to leave it to be rough grass because of the fire risk there.
Well, not the whole thing, but he's just, it started off being a, you know, some mode and just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the reason for the planting plan is because the pines have come down and, anyway, nothing straightforward.
No, but I think there's a limit now because they have worked out where the planting. And he will be mowing.
All right, I think if he found himself an organisation not to apply on his behalf.
Yeah.
it'd be Something.
Yeah,
we
no,
would
that's good.
discuss.
Thanks.
Okay, so chair report. Dun, dun, dun. Right, items from public forum. The only sort of, I guess, outstanding thing that as the Andy Clark requested the board hold a public meeting to coordinate a community response to the Sam's Creek mining concerns of fast track bill. I kind of feel like they've already started this process. They've had a couple of meetings, Henry, is that right?
They've had a couple of, yeah, in that, with their group.
Yeah, not
But there is a
public.
public meeting coming up.
Right, so they've already organised
They've
that, so we
yeah,
can.
it should be our role to organise a public meeting. I don't think it's community board's role,
You don't think it is?
no, it's community board's role to organise a public meeting for us. I think, you know, people who are passionate about it need to be the ones who do it. Yeah. We need to sort of stay a little bit outside of it, neutral, is the word.
The-
High school hall on the swim tank.
yeah,
They were looking at changing it again.
Okay, because it was the day of the.
Yes.
I'm sure, I haven't seen it yet, I'm
No,
sure it'll be on
it-
Facebook and,
It's just because there's the planned power outages,
oh, yes.
Ah, yes.
so they're kind of throwing a lot of people out, actually.
Oh, no.
Museum has the same problem with their AGM.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
They were looking at maybe changing the date, and I don't know whether one was settled on yet or not.
Okay,
right, there's a blurb in there about the community board meeting with Maureen. There is a dog control bylaw review update, just some information there, really important that all our community submit to this consultation process, so just remind people to have, about having their say in dogs in public spaces.
We could make sure that, so there's 5 bylaws, is it 5, Kim, we're doing? So these are gonna roll along, so that maybe it might be helpful for the board to know that council's gonna have something significant in the weekly to let people know now's your time to have your dog, bird conversation.
well, I'll give it a link to the new policies or the draft policy. Because
Yeah,
they probably
to go
said-
out for consultation, yeah.
Is that,
Yeah,
is
they've
that
got to be
put back
approved.
to being passed in council, to consultate the,
No.
Not quite
Right.
yet.
That's the next environment
Right.
regulatory committee meeting.
okay,
They'll be taking
it's the 18th, yeah,
It'll be passed forward to go out for.
for consultation.
yeah.
Oh, and you'll see some information in there from Lynn regarding the East Tartica playground. No board decision there, it's just some information from the board that I requested Lynn for, but yes, Celia, you brought this to the board's attention, you have some more.
Yeah, so thank you. I was contacted by the East Tarka Reserves people and they were concerned because of the inaccuracies in the report.
Yes.
And there's some statements in the report and on the basis of which the whole playground was going to be removed. One of the mistakes in the report was that the playground was over 40 years old, which it's actually not, it's 20 years old. And that posts are rotten, which in fact they're not rotten. There's nothing in the report to say how it's determined that they're rotten. but my, I think it's, was it that, Lynn Hall has actually made contact with these tokens.
Yes, she has.
And they're going to have a meeting on site.
Yes.
I think try and get some, but I do, I think that the actual assessment does leave something desired.
It does, reading through all this,
Incredibly
I don't
detailed.
know, reading through the findings, I like just casting my eye over it. The biggest thing that leaped out at me from the report was, actually, it wasn't the wood, it was the falling spaces and the gaps in the playground. I didn't pick up the wood stuff too much, but falling space, extent of falling space. So I think it does need, and the surface needs redoing, so it definitely does need looking at, but I don't think it's,
Yeah,
there is a lot of info in there though.
through
I
the
think
chair,
it's the standard that,
And the ropes are rotting, timbers are split.
it's the standard that council has to hold
Yeah.
to, isn't it? That, I mean, they exist for some reason, there's even reference to some bloody something, you know, whatever the guidelines are, so it's all
And if
well to
there are
have a
metal
formal
pins-
assessment done. So, well, actually, that is rotting, and then people say, oh, they're not rotting, I mean, it's all a bit silly, isn't it, really?
just through the chair. I think this meeting between council and East Karakia was really gonna nail it. But I would like to see one of the board members attend that, just because it should be on our radar, because it is our right here. So I think it would be really nice to assign a community board member to just be at that meeting.
I think it would be appropriate to see if Celia would want to be at their meeting, as she was the one that was approached by the
Or as well as a councillor, as well as a community.
by, well, probably doesn't need both, but Celia was the one that was approached by the East Karakia Reserve Group, so there's already a level of trust and relationship there, I think, so that would be very useful. But I could be totally wrong, maybe we do need a board member there as well.
Well, I'm happy to go and do that. Yeah, and I think that the point needs to be made that I think the only people who use this playground are not the general public. People don't just, their children can't go there of their own independent, you know. But I'm not saying that
Can't
there's
they?
any excuse or, well, it's right out of the country. So it's not like a city playground.
I think, yeah, I don't know, I think it still needs to be. Still has to be safe at a.
No, I agree, totally agree, it needs to be safe, but as long as it is safe, it's, you know, things can be safe, but also not be completely modern, if you know what I mean.
Well,
Who built that one initially, do you know?
Well, my understanding is that it was the East Karakia Hall.
Yeah, that's pretty, you know.
And they have had a builder go through, haven't they?
Yeah, they've had to build it's one of these posts that were said to be rotten.
They look like
But
hardwood
they're not
posts.
rotten.
So,
They're old telephone poles.
yeah, but I mean, they would last for years.
Yeah.
It is. I think TDC on the,
Or TDC owns the reserve.
we own the reserve, yeah, or sorry, TDC, not we.
So any facility on one of our reserves has to meet.
Estimate standards, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what
My
it'll come
question
down to.
was really about the actual inspection. Is
Yeah.
that I felt that the inspection by Tina Dyer.
Very detailed though. Fine tooth comb.
well, that's the standard that happens.
That's right.
And she's even included a certificate.
It's a thing, isn't it? Lay
It's a thing.
inspectors.
So, I mean, Celia, do you feel that you would like a board member?
No, I'm happy
You're
to
happy
do that unless somebody wants to come with me, that's fine. And if somebody may be interested enough to come, if anyone's interested in playgrounds. Robert?
I'm interested in many children for anyone.
Take the children along.
All right.
Very interested in different children. Isak is not one of them.
No.
It's useful.
Yeah, be interesting to get that.
In defence of East Karakia Playground, it's one of the few that it's fully fenced. So as a mother with very tiny children,
Good one.
it was brilliant because I could take them there and
Oh,
go, but I
yes.
couldn't. We
In
lived in
town.
East Karakia, so we knew about it,
Right.
but that you couldn't let your kids climb on it unaided because of those trip hazards. And there is the ability for a child to get a foot stuck off the side of the slide, like it's identified. And
Sorry, what, it would be really good to get your mother's.
oh, she's all over this.
Yes, yeah.
All right, excellent. Oh, well, that's good.
And I mean you as a mother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, they're big kids now, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
So-
I'll talk to you.
So you're happy to talk to Lynn? Great, thank you. Oh, the financial summary.
With the action sheet,
Oh.
just,
Oh, yeah.
says we don't have anything on the action sheet at all. Is that what that's saying, or is there action, or is there actions that are not? You know, there's no update on them, so we didn't get an action sheet.
No, there were
What was
three
actually-
actions that carried over from the previous one that were all completed and signed off before this meeting.
Okay.
So, but, yeah,
I
so
thought-
there was nothing that was active to bring.
No, that's all right, I'm just.
Was it, I'm just
Single
asking, was it
pixel.
there ongoing discussion about how
Who sent me?
Karakia recycle one? And the maintenance standard?
Oh,
Robert was going to report back, wasn't he? He was
Yeah.
doing some testing. I could follow that up.
on the.
That was on that was, yes.
Yeah, he was putting down 100 meters of some sort of surface and testing it.
Yes, he didn't respond back. At the last, whatever meeting we had over the hill. Ops. There was mention made of the new path from the caravan dump site down to the Frontiera intersection. You know, our new flash
Oh, yeah.
path.
Yes.
And I asked that a high standard of maintenance happen with it, and that surely we could be spraying weeds when they're tiny. Don't wait till they get 3/4 of a metre high. And I acknowledged that the Pohara Takaka path has finally, a little while ago now, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, finally been mowed and finally been sprayed. But asked again, could they not wait till the bloody grass is like 3/4 of a metre high before doing it? And Jamie said, we've had a number of conversations about this, and among the team, they have agreed that it will be a priority area.
Right.
To keep it maintained. And as a part of that, new path bit, I met with Robert, I think I spoke about this one other time, met with Robert Dick on site about where you come along Maihana, footpath, driveway into the big Frontiera staff car park, footpath ends, and then there's this grass, whatever, to nowhere. So, because they were under budget on the path, they did do a little job there, which is great. So when you're driving by, eyes left.
One of it.
And yeah, that goes up, what's Catchy Road, is it called up there or something?
Right.
So now you can come on the footpath and you just hit a little gravel path that curves up, and then people can get across the end onto the path.
Right.
Been a bugbear of mine for a long time, and just those little things that make a difference for the people that are cruising around.
Yeah.
I was wondering what they were gonna do with the extra money, because I saw it coming well under budget,
Yeah, it did.
yeah. And is there more under budget, or is that it?
That's TDC for you. Under budget.
Is that,
Under budget on the small thing.
I guess the question is, you know, with that little bit they've done, is that taking the rest of the budget, or is there still more under budget?
No, I think this under budget further, and it will just be
Have we,
on the go.
because it was the money that we got from,
Better funding.
federal funding, is that gonna get lost if we haven't spent it? Is that like the money that we, lost for the feasibility study
Well,
for Skate
No,
Park?
no, that's gone because it has to be used, the government have a direction, it needs to be used for water.
We weren't about, I doubt we're about to keep the balance.
And we've got $5,000 in for water related. Expense, which is to do with the
Collingwood pump station.
Collingwood,
And
yeah,
that
the
was-
Collingwood CCTV, that's. the
Wasn't that an action? That,
No,
something that we need to keep an eye on though?
no, Richard Kirby's already got.
It is gonna-
Andrews, yeah, it wasn't discussed by us.
So, no,
That money just got
whipped away.
taken away.
That you find what-
Made me sad. Right, what are we doing? Anyway, sorry. back into
I'm
it.
just looking at it.
Financial update. Any
No.
questions on the financial summary at all?
I don't have a question.
Oh,
Let's go.
oh, no one, I'll go back, sorry, pause. I'll move that the board report be accepted,
second
sorry,
that.
Jess, thank you, Grant. Mainly Grant, sorry, Jess, goodness me. Rightio, back into it, Robert, you have a question,
No, it's a comment.
a comment, oh, that's good.
Or observation, just about because this is up to May,
Yeah,
year ends June, and we put 9,900 towards the discretionary fund. And we've only spent 3,266 plus 1,000 that we distributed today, so we're not using all of that fund.
It'll get rolled over though, won't it?
Yes, it will be rolled over, but it's just
Yeah.
trend
yeah,
that we're not getting enough applications in.
Yeah.
Use all the funding.
So we need the media to get hold of the, to put something out there and let people know that we have money.
Robert to find my ones as well.
Well, the board can do that.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
The
Remind
board can
people
put
that
something in the weekly
Always
or
have
on
shows coming out.
committee Facebook page or something,
Newsline.
saying
yeah,
we've got some
absolutely.
money.
The, another comment I guess too is we're just waiting for Mike, one of the actions that got closed off that, but possibly hasn't quite been completed, was that we were talking to Mike about transferring some of that unspent overall funds that we seem to keep accumulating into the discretionary fund or special projects. We're just waiting for Mike to get back. He's away. Is he back yet, Kim?
Yep.
Oh, he's back. Right, I'll start making him my special friend again and we'll see what movement we can have on that. But would somebody like to move the report be accepted?
Yes,
Lovely, Robert, seconded by Celia. All those in favour? Lovely. And that actually brings us to the end of our meeting, and which is probably quite, we're trying to have a little break before we go into our next. But I'll just hand back over to Councillor Hill for the closing cover there.
We're not
Robert.
sitting next to each other.
Oh, no.
How should we do it? Have you got it on there?
no, I do not.
Let's choose.
I'll just have to do the English one.
Are you ready? Karakia tātou, tawhiri mai ngā hoa o te tae ao, mai a papatoni ko tākoro nei, kia rangi nui e tū iho nei, tuturi whakamaua kia tina, uie, tai kia, speaks to, we welcome the fruits of the environment, from the heavenly realms and our earthly mother. That's that.
There's earthly, so what's earth and what's mother?
Bye-bye.
Oh, get your kids doing that.